memory, the more little changes can occur. A great example of this is Patrick Liddell's YouTube video, where he uploaded, downloaded, and then re-uploaded the same video 1,000 times. By the end, it becomes something completely unrecognizable. And to a degree, this is what happens within our own minds. When these gaps are created, we fill them in with images we already have. We even construct memories for things that have never happened. Dr. Elizabeth Loftus conducted an experiment where subjects were given 4 descriptions of events by a family member that had happened in their lives. One of the stories was always about the subject being lost in a mall when they were younger, and that story was always false. But when presented with this fake story, over 25% of the subjects remembered it happening. Some were able to describe sights, sounds, and people that weren't even in the description they were given. They had created new details. And once these memories are inside of us, we believe them. They become infallible in our mind. The Door study is a fantastic example of how we miss things even if they're right in front of us. The person asking for directions is replaced by someone completely different, and the person helping doesn't even realize. If we can't even trust our own memories, then what can we use to accurately record and save them? In the great book Elephants on Acid and Other Bizarre Experiments, author Alex Bowes talks about an experiment conducted that had fiber electrodes inserted into the vision processing center of a cat's brain. The cats were sat in front of a TV screen, and software was able to decode the recorded information, turning it back into an image that closely resembled what the cat was watching. And while attaching electrodes to your brain is a little extreme compared to something like Google Glass, which can also record what your eye sees, there is still one problem. If we play back exactly what happened, we still have to use our memories of those events to recreate how it smelled, how it felt, and what it was like. Then there is the Assassin's Creed idea of passing down memories through DNA. MatPat made a great game theory episode on this topic where he mentions how scientists have been able to save data, like Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, in the form of DNA. But when it comes to our memories and our experiences, we might not be able to save them in real life the way you can in a video game. We might not even remember what we wanted to do in the first place. But that's what makes us who we are. Every experience we have, every memory is unique to us. Even if it was seen by multiple people, our interpretation, the way that we play it again and again in our minds, is ours. Even if we might have missed a few details. In 24 seconds when this video ends, if you were immediately asked to describe me, would you mention that during this episode, my shirt changed colors? Or at the beginning of the video, how I had 2 earrings and an eyebrow ring, and now have none? And as always, thanks for watching. New editions have removed it, or in some cases, to change history. Nikolai Ezov was the head of the is ours, even if we might have missed a few details. In 24 seconds when this video ends, if you were immediately asked to describe me, would you mention that during this episode, my shirt changed colors? Or at the beginning of the video, how I had 2 earrings and an eyebrow ring, and now have none? And as always, thanks for watching.
Bubble wrap? Seriously?
I don't want anything to happen to her.
With Mercury, repairs are guaranteed for life.
So there's no need for this.
I can't stop.
Log on to mercuryinsurance.com and get a free quote.
Hey Vsauce, I'm Jake, and I have been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 recently, like a lot of Grand Theft Auto. But we're not here to talk about my crippling addiction, no. We are here because while playing, I started thinking about how heavy all the weapons I was carrying were. So I found the closest real-world counterparts, and with every weapon slot full, loaded with ammo, you are carrying anywhere from 600 to 800 pounds. It would be like strapping a motorcycle to your back. According to the US military, an infantry soldier's fighting load should not exceed 48 pounds or 33% their body weight. When marching, it should be around 72 pounds, but that has been known to go up close to 100. In 1989, Dr. Joseph Knapik published a study on loads carried by US military infantry, and interestingly points out that since the Industrial Revolution, humans have grown an estimated 10 centimeters. And as we have gotten larger in height and weight, the more we have been given to carry. However, fictionally speaking, GTA 5 is but a blip compared to what you can carry in other games. In Minecraft, for example, Steve can carry a lot, all while running, jumping, and climbing. If we take the heaviest element that exists both in the game and real life, gold, fill all 36 inventory slots with 64 stacks of the stuff, it has been calculated to weigh 44,467 metric tons that Steve can carry. In the great video, The Biggest Organism on Earth, Henry from Minute Earth points out that the heaviest known organism is the pando, a clonal colony of over 47,000 aspen trees that are interconnected underground. It weighs about 6,000 tons, or 7.5 times less than the gold that Steve is cruising around with. As of 2012, it was estimated that 174,000 tons of gold have been mined, ever, in the entirety of human history. So that means in Minecraft you can carry 25% of all the gold we have ever found on Earth so far. If you had that much gold in real life, it would currently be equal to $1.8 trillion. That could get you a trip to the moon and back 2,506 times, over 2 trillion soft tacos from Taco Bell, or you could reduce the US national debt by 11%. Obviously, we can't carry that much gold or that much of anything unassisted. So what is the most that someone has carried? Patrick Babomian in September of 2013 took the world record for carrying 1,216 pounds for 10 meters, the most carried by any body. Every day we carry things that aren't part of our body. Our clothes, for example, unless you're not wearing clothes, which is fine. But right now you are carrying inside you about 4 pounds of bacteria. In fact, you and I have more bacterial cells in our body than we do human ones. However, they are so small in size that they only make up 1 to 3% of our body mass. Similarly, our brains are only 2% of our total weight but contain massive amounts of information. Professor of psychology Paul Reber postulated that the human brain has the memory capacity equal to 2.5 petabytes, enough to hold 3 million hours of TV. So then how much does a memory or an experience weigh? Well, no one's been able to figure out the weight of a memory yet, but you can measure it yourself emotionally. When you say I love you to someone and they don't say it back, maybe that has more weight than the time you got Bebop and Rocksteady action figures. We have countless experiences and emotions that we personally assign an importance to, a weight. And maybe it isn't so much the weight of a memory, but the way we carry it. Even though sometimes it feels like you're being crushed emotionally, that you're stuck, that you can't move forward, you still find a way to carry on. So the next time you have something heavy on your mind, think about good old Steve and how he has to carry as much as 25% of all the gold